Good people, good people, good people. Welcome back to the Gumptown Podcast, episode 177. I'm Doug B. If you tuned in to this podcast, thank you for your time and your attention. I really appreciate you giving it a shot. Today's guest is the founder and owner of Rainy Expressions. I'm looking forward to this conversation, and I'm sure we'll all be inspired by her story. Let's chop it up with Sherian McGhee. Sherian, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you?
Glad to hear that. And all is well on my end, too. First things first, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to chop it up with me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm honored.
Yes, ma'am. Of course, here to talk about all the great things you got going on with Rainy Expressions. But before we talk business, let's get to know the woman behind the brand. Born and raised in the Gump, what was your upbringing like in the city?
Oh, wow. So, my upbringing was like, it was full of like, I guess, history with just the history of just Montgomery, the civil rights movements. And so, people look at Montgomery as being like slow or not many opportunities. So what I got out of Montgomery is what I seen it was an opportunity for me to be able to bring a business here, a beauty business that will be able to reach women, to be able to create a community for women, and just be able to build and grow. A lot of people like to go other places and then build businesses and try to branch off. But, I said, you know what? I want to be planted here. And so, after praying and, taking that step out on faith, I just decided to take a step out and start a business. So, and God has blessed it.
Okay, awesome stuff. Appreciate you for sharing that and just overall your upbringing. Sounds like you had a great upbringing, great village around you when you was growing up.
Well, I always say that I'm motivated by the struggle. Everything wasn't always good, but how I look at it is life is about what you make it, and how you respond to it. We don't have to be a product of our environment. I grew up in a single parent household. It was six of us, but that did not determine my success or my future or what I believe that was possible. And so, even though we struggled, even though I did face adversity, along the way, I still, make the best out of it.
And that's all you can do, honestly, Shireen. I mean, no matter what hand you're dealt, the best thing you can do is just be as optimistic as possible, put one foot in front of the other. And I know take it one day at a time. People look at it as a cliche, but really, when you're going through stuff, going through adversity, you really have to take it one day at a time. Otherwise, if you worrying about too far in the future, you worrying about the past, it'll drown you. So that's great that you were able to take those circumstances and make the most out of them. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, yes, no problem. I mean, we have to take it one step at a time, baby steps are still steps. And so I try not to get too far ahead, and try not to get too stuck on the present. And so just kind of finding a balance in between.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. That's powerful stuff. So when you finish up high school and all that good stuff, did you go to college, military, or did you go right to work?
So graduating high school, I was actually supposed to join the Air Force. And crazy thing about it, in the midst of me about to join the Air Force, God kind of spoke to me about my gift that I've been letting allow, just lying dormant. I always did makeup, growing up as a little girl, watching my mother. She was into the beauty industry, but I never thought that there would be a career for me. I never seen someone make it out of a career or just become like a makeup artist. It wasn't really big for me. So I had other plans with my life. But somehow I started doing makeup. I was working in this call center job, and I started doing makeup there, and it kind of my clientele kind of grew from there. And then I went to college. I went to Transition Technical College, where I got my esthetician license, which is a skincare specialist. And so that helped me to kind of specialize more into the skin. So I kind of fall under the dermatologist, where we do like chemical peels, facial treatments, waxing, things like that. And so I obtained that license, and then I opened my own salon.
Wow, what a journey I'm talking about. That's a great journey. So you finish up high school, go right into the workforce, go back and get educated, get your degrees. No, that's amazing that's a great journey that you've been on and just in terms of having that perseverance and no matter what you went through, like you were talking about earlier, despite the obstacles, you still found a way and just made it happen. So I know you were saying that you fell in love with doing makeup as a little girl and just watching your mom. So that's great. Like, and it's so cool. Like, you just never know who watches. So that's great that mom gave you that vision, even as a little girl. And look at you now. You got it rocking and rolling with the business.
Yes, I'm truly grateful. I believe that our upbringing and our circumstance and things that we go through, it prepares us no matter how we may look at it or how we may think that it's bad or, it's not working out or it could be better. God has his way of molding us and developing us. And sometimes going through those sufferings, going through those certain periods in life, it really prepares us for later at the time is now. So I'm excited.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. So let's talk business, Rainy Expression. See, I'm big into brand names and the origins of brand names. What inspires
Uh-huh.
you to name it Rainy Expressions?
Oh wow. I was in school and at first it was makeup by Rainy, but then when I was in school, I was branching out and I was obtaining my esthetician license. So I was like, I kind of need to kind of make it a broad name. And I was like, I need to change it from just makeup because now I'm about to offer so much more. So I don't want to kind of limit myself to just makeup. And so when I think about my business, I think about it's an expression of so many things, and not just beauty, but it's a lot of things that fall under the umbrella of Rainy expressions. And my nickname is Rainy. It comes from Sherian, so everybody call me Rainy. And so I was thinking about me expression women's beauty. So I was like, what, I may need to call it Rainy Expression. And so I just came up with that name just in school, just kind of thinking and that thought came and I was like, I think I'm gonna go with that because that's my goal, for each woman that come across my path is to be able to express their beauty inside and out.
And that's why I love hearing about the origin of brand names, just that organic way, how you came up with Rainy Expressions. And I appreciate you for just giving us that background. That was dope.
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am. So, products and services wise, what you got going on with the business?
Glad you asked. So right now I'm in a transition stage. So I'm working on adding people to the brand. So now it's time to go to the next level. And so when I first started, it was about me preparing myself, getting a feel for the business. And now I want to be able to help other people in the beauty industry that's getting started to train people and stuff. So I'm kind of transitioning now from being a hustler to a a businesswoman. And so now I want to kind of get people in the salon that can work with me. I can train them and we can kind of take things to the next level. I'm hosting a lot of events. So I do a lot of makeup classes. I do a lot of empowerment events, especially like beauty workshops and stuff like that. So I have a lot of things coming up for this month and next month. And so if everyone will follow me on Rainy Expressions on all social media platforms. You can keep up with the events that I have also on Eventbrite, Rainy Expressions. So I have a lot of things planned. I'm excited.
Okay, yes, I can hear the passion in your voice, the excitement in your voice, and that's great that, like you said, you're going through that transition. You have these years of experience, you've built up the expertise, and now you want to share that knowledge with others. I think that's amazing.
Yes, I mean, because success is not all about you, right?
Right.
When God bless you with a gift or He take you places, it's for you to reach back and help others. Life is not about you; it's about serving other people and helping others. And so that's what I kind of want to do. I want to live an impactful life that help and service others. And so that's what it's all about.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is some powerful stuff. So, whenever I have entrepreneurs on the platform like yourself, I like to talk about three things: the aha moment, action, and audacity. Take us back to your aha moment when you first had the idea to take your love for cosmetics and beauty and makeup and turn it into a business.
The aha moment was but I really, what I'm saying? Let me see. How can I put this? When I first got the thought to do it, it's like I had the faith, but then also it's like I had to face reality. And so I had to overcome a lot of fear and a lot of, doubters and naysayers in the process of me taking that step on our faith and, thinking it can become more than what it was. But the aha moment was me, for me was when I did this wedding party and the lady, she just loved her makeup and it was like a room full of women and stuff like that. And she just was crying, like she just fell in love with her makeup and stuff. And she just kind of spoke life into me and said, "You're gonna be bigger than what you think and what you believe." And she was like, "Don't stop. Always keep going because God is gonna take you places with your business." And that was kind of confirmation for me because in the midst of me taking that step on our faith, I still had doubt. But that kind of reminded me of the things and the plans that God had for me. And so that was kind of like, it kind of gave me like momentum to like press forward. And so I just remember that being like a game changer for me when I first started out.
Okay, and that's a great aha moment. Just in the midst of serving your customer and just getting that confirmation to jump out there and make it happen. So, from that initial aha moment, how long did it take you to get the LLC and get all the business stuff situated to get started in business?
Oh God. So that took about, I didn't have a blueprint and I didn't have like a mentor and stuff like that. And I didn't have people around me that was doing what I was doing. So it was really hard starting off. So I struggled trying to figure out the way. I had to do a lot of research and stuff. So it took me about almost like a year or two to actually get things in order. And now, I'm still learning as a business owner because, it's different levels to it. What I would advise other people who starting a business to get a business mentor, get someone that's doing what you're doing that can help you to save time and not waste time and money. But it took me about a year or two to get everything, together and established.
Okay, sounds good. In a year or two, I mean, the way time fly these days, a year or two feel like a month or two. So that's not a very long time at all. So you had your idea, you got right to it, got everything legitimized, got the business, got everything right. So that's very important, vitally important. And that last portion, audacity, it's one thing to have an idea. It's another thing to put action behind the idea. But to put it out to the world to be praised or criticized, that's where the audacity comes in my opinion. Who or what gave you that courage, that audacity to put rainy expressions out to the world?
God. God gave me that confidence. I can always remember this scripture, and it says, write the vision, make it plain, and who reads it will run with it. And so just reading that scripture, I wrote it down, what I wanted to do, the plan, and I took my goals, I took my dreams, and I took the faith that I had in God, and I just started to take that step on our faith and started to take action, and everything that I said I wanted to do, I did it. I think God has been like a foundation for me, and not only in business but in my personal life, because I feel like you are a representation of your business, and who you are, you overflow that into your business. And so I thank God for just being with me and working with me, and just developing my character, and so I can build a successful business, and know how to treat people and know how to operate with people. But God definitely been, the key to my success, and just He's been the greatest.
Yes, ma'am, no doubt. With God, all things are possible. So I get
Yes.
it. It makes perfect sense. Appreciate you for sharing
Mhm.
that.
No problem. No problem.
Yes, ma'am. So what year exactly did you launch the business? I was doing some due diligence, but I wasn't able to find the founding year.
So I launched my business 2018, the month of November. At the end of the year, after procrastination, I was like, you know what, I'm just about to do it. Because sometimes we try to wait for the perfect moment, the perfect time, but after letting months go by, I was like, let me just do it. Let me just go for it, and I'll perfect it along the way. And so the end of the year, I made up my mind that next year, I will have my business established, and I will be, starting to work for my own brand. And so 2018 was the year.
Okay, good stuff. November 2018, you got the business off the ground, and that leads to my next question. So, of course, we all know what happened in 2020, March 2020, the world shut down, and the industry that you're in, it involves being up close and personal, and doing makeup and things of that nature. My question is, how were you able to pivot and stay afloat in business during the pandemic?
So during the pandemic, I was actually just got in school. And so I had a suite that I was working out of with my business. And during that time, they had closed down shops who was in close contact providing services. And so with me being in school and still trying to manage my suite, and I couldn't balance it all. So what I did was I had to pivot. I had to end up moving my shop into the back part of my home, and then I just continued with school. And while I did that, I just took my clients that we could take from school. But in the midst of that, I started doing digital courses. I started selling products. I just kind of started being very creative and learning ways how to make money without me having to be there. like selling, like I started selling ebooks, just different stuff that I started to tap into when I couldn't be there to physically provide the service. And so I think that you have to be adaptable and adjustable because you never know how things are going to turn. And so you got to be quick when you're an entrepreneur. You have to figure it out quick and adjust and just keep going.
Yes, ma'am, no doubt. That's powerful stuff. I appreciate you for sharing that. That's what I'm talking about. You got right at you got after it, started doing digital courses, ebooks, and you could have easily sat around and said, "Woe is me. Let me go find me a regular job." This entrepreneurship dream ain't what I thought it was gonna be, but you took that crisis and you pivoted, you made the adjustments, and that's what it's all about. I mean, and appreciate you for sharing that. That was very powerful.
Yes, most definitely. It's about your response. It's not about what happened to you, but it's about your response. So I believe that if you take on things with a positive attitude, you can overcome and make it on top of anything. So that's the key.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. So you been entrepreneur, and I'm assuming you're a full-time entrepreneur, or you still got a 9 to 5. Like, what's that situation?
So I'm a full-time entrepreneur, but
Okay.
I do work flex sometimes at Sephora. So I kind of work there if they need me. But I've been a full-time entrepreneur for 7 years. And I just recently started to kind of help out with Sephora the end of last year in October, because they need a licensed esthetician. So I go there when they do need me. But other than that, I'm a full-time entrepreneur.
Okay, nice. That's amazing. Appreciate you
Mhm.
for sharing that. So with you being a full-time entrepreneur and running the business and being the head person in charge and as well as what you do with Sephora. So with all this is on your plate, Shireen, I gotta ask you, what do you do to decompress and get away from all this?
So I have to have my time, my quiet time. So I have to take days off. I take resting periods, I take vacations. I don't overextend myself and I don't overwhelm myself. And if I do feel like I'm getting to a state of being burnt out, I'll go on a fast, I go into meditation, prayer is my safe place, I'll go to the beach, I just do things that brings me and put me back into my happy place. I think being an entrepreneur is all about balance, and just managing your time and having the discipline that you need. I think that's the key. I mean, because as an entrepreneur, you're gonna get many thoughts. You're gonna be want to do this, 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 this. But you have to have balance even with your thoughts. And so just taking time to rest when needed and not overextending yourself. I have learned to not just work, 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 but actually take time off. And so that's been a game changer for me.
Okay, absolutely. I love to hear it. So pretty much you just sum it up. You let them know that you don't mind telling them no if they start to mess with your peace.
Yes, most definitely. My peace is more valuable than money.
Yes,
And so
ma'am.
if anything is about bothering my peace, then it has to go. So
Yes, ma'am.
it
Yes,
come
ma'am.
first.
Yes, ma'am. I fool with it. I definitely understand that. So you've done great things with the business. I know great things are coming down the pipeline, which leads to my next portion, vision. What are some of your short-term and long-term goals for the business you feel comfortable sharing?
So as far as like short term, long term goes, like I said, I'm in a period of transitioning, and so now I'm about to offer mentorships. So I'm now about to start training women in the makeup industry, also esthetician. So I'm now about to be able to be apprenticing. So I'll be able to allow girls to work under me to obtain their esthetician license. So that's something that I'm planning on doing. Also, I'm planning on kind of branching out and getting a new business venture. That's what I'm working on. So with me being an esthetician, I do the facials, waxes and stuff, but I want to kind of get a different building where I want to provide suites. For different people that's coming on that need a place to operate and don't have a shop and things like that. So I want to create a space for other people that's starting off. So that's something that I'm having going on. Also, just different events and stuff too. Like I said, I host a lot of empowerment that kind of coincide with my business because Rainy especially just like a safe place, a safe community for women. Beauty inside and out. And so I do a lot of give backs and community events and stuff, especially for prom. So I have like giveaways that I'm doing for prom. So I like sponsored 3 girls each year for prom, just as a way to give back. So that's kind of like what I have going on right now. But I don't know, God is still in the working business. He's still, orchestrating the things for me. So I don't know. I'm excited to see what more he has.
Yes, ma'am. And those are great short-term, long-term goals. And I know everything that you got coming down the pipeline, you're gonna do it at a high level and do it great.
Yes, yes. With God before me, who could be against me? So
Yes, ma'am.
I'm ready.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. That's powerful stuff. And I know we were talking offline. You were telling me as well that you're in the podcasting space as well. Tell us a little bit about your podcast.
So my podcast is called Beauty for the Soul Podcast. And so it's a podcast that is dedicated to inspiring and empowering women on their transformation journey of inner beauty. And so in a world that often like prioritize the outer appearance, Beauty for the Soul kind of shift the focus to the inner being, where the true beauty lies. And so I kind of use that space to encourage women, to empower them, and also give them different strategies and with the word of God, and letting them know, that it's okay to not be okay, and just kind of take them through the healing process and the transformation process, to, feel and look more beautiful, starting with the inside out. So that's kind of what that's about.
Okay, powerful stuff. Just like you were saying earlier, Rainy Expressions is a safe haven, and the podcast sounds like another safe haven that you created a audio experience. And I do want to ask you, Shireen. Of course, the podcasting space is a lot of different podcasts out there, and it's can be overwhelming at times. I mean, I can speak for myself. Like coming into the game, I was like, man, there's so many out there. But then something just clicked where I just realized, well, everybody has their own sauce, different flavors. So, no two podcasts sound alike. So I'm just curious, what exactly intrigued you to want to come into this podcasting?
I think that within my business, I reach a lot of people. But I feel like I wanted to reach more people, and I feel like that I have a voice. Well, I know that I have a voice, and I wanted to be able to reach women and to be able to speak to them and be able to encourage them and empower them, outside of the four walls of my shop. And so I feel like I reach a lot of people on my social media, but I'm like, I need to reach more. And so it's a broader audience, and just be able to, I know that how powerful words are. And so I would always like to use my words for good. And so I feel like just allowing people to hear certain things can shift their focus and shift their mindset. And so I kind of just, I don't know, it's like what space that I can get into that I can reach women. And I see that podcasts start to become very popular. And so I was like, maybe I need to tap into this. And when I started, when I tell you, it just kind of like blessed, it not only blessed other people, it blessed me. And so like I'm learning and growing, with others, as I'm on this journey. So it's a beautiful journey.
Yes, ma'am. That's powerful, and I'm glad that you realized that you do have a voice and that you wanted to come to this podcasting space to bless women. Because I mean, like we also talking about offline, a lot of times when you hear the word podcast, it's synonymous with drama and negativity. So I salute you for coming into this space and coming in with that positive energy and creating a safe haven for women. That's amazing.
Yes, most definitely. We need more positive people in this world, more loving people, more empowerment people, more encouragement. The world needs it.
Yes, ma'am, no doubt. So as we wrap up the podcast, I want to ask $1 million question. I started this podcast because I wanted to highlight the greatness connected to the city of Montgomery. Whether you were born here or lived here for a significant period of your life, be it college, military, or work, you being a hometown hero. Shireen, I want to ask you, what do you appreciate the most about the city of Montgomery?
What I appreciate the most about the city of Montgomery is the space for opportunity. I feel like a lot of people discredit Montgomery when it comes to even starting a business or whatever that you may want to do, or just whatever you want to do like in life. I feel like people feel like they have to go outside of Montgomery to do things. But I appreciate the opportunity for you to be able to grow things. It's very slow pace. And I love that, it's not too crowded, the living conditions are, ideal, it's not too expensive, and also, it's a historical place. We have so many history places here. And just starting here, yeah, I was like, I feel like it was no greater place for me to just start and build my business than just the home of like the Montgomery, so I appreciate everything, that the people have done, but that came before us. And their many sacrifices and things like that. So Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. That's powerful stuff. So, Shireen, how can the people connect with you? What are your social media handles and website?
Okay, so you can connect with me on Instagram. It's rainy underscore expressions. And that's one S behind it. Also on Facebook, it's rainy expressions. You can follow my podcast, Beauty for the Soul podcast. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. And then my website is rainy expressions with two S's.com.
Yes, ma'am. And of course, I'll put all that information in the description of the episode. Hey, Shireen, thanks again for the conversation. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Bye.
Yes, ma'am. Good people, that concludes another dope episode of the Gumtown Podcast. In the meantime, in between time, y'all know what to do. Be blessed, be safe, but most importantly, have the audacity to be you. Gone.